Final tip. Okay. 5, 4, 3.
Today we're speaking to Mairead O'Sullivan, the writer and director of the play Adrift. How are you today, Mairead?
Good, how are you?
I'm very good. So tell me how you got into writing.
Writing. I think I've always kind of been writing since I learned to. I just kind of, in my own time, little like poems and stories and things. I have loads of notebooks at home, just kind of filled with like random anything really. So yeah, it's kind of something I've been doing all along. It's only recently that I kind of thought, oh, maybe other people might like to see some of it. Yeah, just nothing really in particular. I just kept doing it.
And the play Adrift, that was for the Drama Society in UCC, wasn't it?
Yeah. Dramatic.
And what was it about?
It was about. Well, it was set in London in 1913, around then, and it's about these three characters that kind of come across each other in a park, and the main character, Aster, lives in this park. He's homeless. It kind of turns out that he sort of ran away from his life and just kind of, I suppose, society in general really, he's just kind of cut himself off in a way. And then the next kind of main character, I suppose, is Bruce, and I based him loosely on J. Bruce Ismay from White Star Line. He was managing director, and they own the Titanic, and he was on the ship, and when it sank, like, he survived or whatever, but he was kind of considered a bit of a coward for surviving, rather than sort of going down with it, or they accused him of not, doing his best to help people off it and this kind of thing anyway. But so whether he deserved it or not, his life from then on was never the same, obviously. So loosely, like Bruce, loosely based on that whole story. And then the next character, Grace, she's a friend of Aster's, and she's just been searching for him since he left, and she finds him basically. So it's about how the three of them they come across each other, and it's set over a couple of seasons, and not just all the one day or anything. And it their kind of their past lives kind of come to the fore again, or their secrets or whatever, as their kind of conversations move along. Things, yeah.
And what was your inspiration for that idea?
Inspiration, yeah. So it started off as I just had Aster and Bruce because I read an article about J. Bruce Ismay, and I found it really interesting because it mentioned that afterwards, he had a house in Connemara. He was a landlord or whatever, but him and his wife would go to London at times, but the way they put it in the article was that he didn't really like, it was hard for him to talk to people that he kind of used to know, or that were of his standing, we'll say, because they were going to bring up the Titanic and all that, or maybe not be so nice to him about it or whatever. But he talked to down and outs, they call them, like in the article, because I guess he felt they were less likely to bring it up and talk about it. So that's where I got the idea to have this conversation between a guy sitting in a park and this gentleman who comes along, and slowly his kind of not inner demons, but he's a bit haunted by it, and that kind of comes across because the homeless character, Aster, starts talking about the Titanic because he was meant to be on it as a crew member, but he missed it. It was gone. He was in a pub or something. Yeah. So that kind of triggers the memories for Bruce, and that's kind of how we realise who he is, because he starts to get quite agitated and things. So that was my original story. Basically, it was just this one conversation, and it was just a short story. And then when I decided I wanted to do a short play, I kind of adapted it and brought in Grace as well, that character in that story, like gave Aster more of a background as well. So that's kind of how it all came together.
And how did the production of the play go?
Production, yeah, that was interesting. I nearly didn't send it in at all. I'd written it all, basically. Well, no, I made a few changes after as we went along, but it was basically more or less written, and I kind of went, yeah, I don't know, will I bother? And then they extended the deadline for the short plays, and I went, no, maybe I should just see what happens. So I sent it in anyway, kind of forgot about it, and then I got a call saying, yeah, we liked it, you know, it's in the short play festival. There was 4 of them altogether, 4 short plays, and so yeah, basically I had to find myself a production manager and you know, a crew, because it was just literally me, and I was like, what? I don't really know where to go from here. So I asked Ailish, because I'd worked with her last year on a different play. I was assistant director and she was stage manager, I think she was. But so I knew her anyway, and I knew that she knows sort of what to do and things, because she does drama and theatre studies in UCC. So she agreed to be my production manager, and we got, you know, the rest of the crew together or whatever, and then we had to cast it, and that was a lot of fun. And yeah, like we got along really well. Like it worked out well, like the group of people that we had working on it, like cast and crew. And so we were rehearsing for about a month, and we spent most of the time playing games, but we also rehearsed as well. But no, it was fun. Like I didn't want it to ever get too serious, you know. Yeah. But at the same time, like, you know, we made sure that it was the way, you know, we gave it our best shot or whatever. So then it was on at the end of October. It was on for 4 nights, and yeah, no, that went really well, because it was the 3 other short plays. Like, you know, it wasn't just us. We were kind of, you know, we could hang out with them and stuff as well. Or, you know, it was just a nice kind of buzz around. It was on the Granary Theatre actually in UCC, down near UCC, and yeah, like, you know, my friends came to see it and my family came to see it, and I think people liked it. Like they kind of, you know, they responded well to it and stuff. So that was good. So yeah.
What was it like then casting for characters that you'd written, that you'd created? Yeah,
that was interesting because, you know, I went through the script before we auditioned, kind of trying to tell myself, you know, what do I want them to be like? But of course, like you still, you know, it's one thing to be like, this is the way I want this character to be, and then you come across someone who might not be that, but still it will work or might even be better. But you also, like, it depends on who actually shows up as well to auditions, you know, because all the directors had to sit down and go, you know, we had a list of the people that we wanted based on their auditions or whatever, and you kind of have to, you know, there was kind of a system going that, like, so that each play would be cast and that you got as many of the people that you wanted as possible. So yeah, like, no, I was really happy with, like, the actors, like, because, you know, they got along well. Like there was, you know, kind of good chemistry or whatever. And but yeah, no, it was really interesting seeing people then, like, say things that you'd written down and act out a scene that was only ever in your head and that kind of thing. Like it was interesting.
And was this the first play you wrote?
Yeah, I'd never really written a play before. It was mainly poetry and short stories and stuff, but well, I've written a screenplay once, but I never did anything with that. But yeah, so this is the first time that I kind of did something like that. But yeah, no, it was very different. You know, like everyone kind of, you know, because I didn't, like, you know, say, okay, this is definitely the way this has to be. Like everyone kind of brought in their own thoughts and ideas and stuff, you know, which is really good, because then it kind of grew or something.
It's like a collaboration.
Yeah, and it developed really well, I think. And, you know, it was nice to have, like, just different ideas and different things working together and different people and stuff.
So did you prefer kind of the writing side of it or the direction side of it?
Well, they're very different from each other, I think. I think writing, like, I consider myself more of a writer than a director, but I enjoyed directing and the whole process of putting the whole play together and, you know, putting it on and everything, because it is a lot of fun, and it is really, like, you know, you just, it's really stimulating or something, just to be in a very kind of creative environment. But yeah, no, like as a director, I think, you know, I just kind of, you know, I made sure that it stuck to the the story I wanted to tell got told basically, and you know, once that happened, and you know that it was, you know, it all like worked, then I was okay with that. So I'm not really sure, but yeah, I think I'd probably go more with writing, but they're both different from each other, so I couldn't say really.
And you think you're going to write more plays in the future?
Don't know. See, I don't want to just do another one for the sake of, I'll do another one now, sure, that'll be grand. You know, I really want, I want to come across something that I find really interesting, that I can really, you know, kind of, I suppose, get passionate about it. And, you know, because that, like, even though it was only a short play, it took a while to develop, like, you know, kind of in my head and stuff. So, you know, I don't want to kind of rush anything. So definitely if it kind of something came along maybe, or, yeah, well, like, I'll keep kind of writing away anyway. But, you know, if something like that came along again, then maybe I would. I'm not really sure at the moment, though.
I think that's all we have time for today. Listen, thanks very much for coming in, Mairead.
Thank you.
Okay, cut. Can we do the end again?
Yeah. Do they want me in camera for that? Like looking into the camera, or?
Well done, Seth. 5, 4, 3.
Well, I think that's all we have time for today. Thanks very much for coming in today, Mairead, and thanks very much for watching.
Cut. That was beautiful, wasn't it? That was good. Oh, everybody's clapping. Everyone's clapping.
Yay! Are we good?
We good? Yeah.
Right.
I'm good.
Of course.